Hey everybody, Jim and Joshua are here to talk about today's huge news that The Legend of Zelda is reportedly, according to the Wall Street Journal, obviously very reputable, Wall Street Journal says that Netflix and Nintendo are teaming up to do a live-action Legend of Zelda series. Joshua, how excited are you as a big Zelda fan?
It's happening! I'm like stoked. I was like up in the office when I first saw that. You were there. Lots of swear words and screaming and shouting.
He was ecstatic. Yes. It was as if you had won the lottery.
I grabbed my Zelda statue and started like crying over it and licking it, and it was a wild scene. But now that I've calmed down, I'm so stoked for this. We can finally talk like reasonable adults about this. Zelda's pretty much, in my opinion, the greatest video game franchise that exists. So for it to finally get what we've all wanted, like a live action something, whether a movie or TV series, we're getting a TV series, it's awesome. It's so cool, and it's about time.
Well, this has been something that IGN has been really hoping for a long time. We did an April Fool's trailer a couple of years ago. Yes. It was a live-action Zelda movie, and it looked great.
Very awesome. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, to this day, it still gets picked up places. But, you know, Nintendo has been notoriously protective of their IP for decades now, going back as a result of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
You had to bring it up.
I know, it's still like picking at that wound, but that scab. But, you know, there have been hints lately that Nintendo is beginning to kind of soften that position of not allowing for adaptations of their properties. So, you know, we heard some rumblings about
Super Mario with Sony.
Yeah, Sony Pictures Animation doing a Super Mario Brothers movie. And now, of course, Netflix and Zelda. Why do you think Netflix is the perfect candidate, and maybe in some ways the only candidate that could do a live-action Zelda series?
I feel like, well, first of all, they've got everything under their umbrella. A network like HBO or Showtime, they have a certain like demographic they appeal to, where Netflix can pretty much do everything. They got a kids section, adult section, they have animated, they have live action. They can do whatever they want. I also think just now is the time for something like this. 10 years ago, the pop culture wouldn't be ready for something like this. But right now, with the success of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Game of Thrones, obviously, that was in the report that this sort of be Game of Thrones, but a little more kid friendly.
Right.
So, and even like superheroes who are their own kind of like high fantasy like worlds, and those are like saturating the market right now.
Right.
So it feels like if you wanted to do a Zelda live action TV series, now would be the time.
Yeah, it really is the perfect time for this, because by the time they finally kind of get this thing up and running, if Nintendo doesn't change their mind and the whole thing falls apart, which was something that was mentioned in the Wall Street Journal report, that, you know, look, this can still fall apart at some point.
Yeah.
But
if it does,
oh no, he's gonna. Don't do that to him. Don't do that. Don't take it. Don't be the Charlie Brown football moment for him. But you know, this by the time they actually get this thing up and running, you know, Game of Thrones will probably be off the air by then, because they only have a couple of seasons left on that show.
Reportedly, it's only up to 7 seasons. So
So by the time this actually happens, well, we were kind of joking beforehand. You know, what was it, Jojen?
Jojen.
Sangster, I think Thomas Brody Sangster is his name. He'd be kind of good for this, although it depends, I guess, on the age range they want to go with. Like,
he could play younger though, because he's got the big eyes, the blonde hair. Well, obviously they'd probably give him a wig to make him look more like Link, but he would totally be great for it. I also think that a lot of people won't like this, but that Joffrey, he could actually do a good Link, I think.
Could he be forgiven though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he could. Actually, it would be like a career-turning move for him to suddenly be like everyone's favorite character instead of their most hated.
I also think, though, like, just to get back to the Netflix angle on this, is that it really will allow fans to be, you know, you can binge watch this show like you'll be able to do with any Netflix series, and fully, in a way, immerse yourself in that world. You can live in that world for an entire day if you want. You don't have to wait week to week and all that. And also, it's just, Netflix now is at that point, having done, you know, they're willing to spend the money on these things. They're willing to do it right. And
Yeah, they've got a great track record too. You know, Orange is the New Black and
House of Cards, they just spent a boatload of money on Marco Polo. One other thing to keep in mind here too is that Netflix is also, of course, partnered with Marvel. They have we just got our first look at the Daredevil trailer. So clearly Netflix is looking for bigger and bigger partners and properties to partner with existing IP, and of course Zelda kind of fits that pattern. As a big Zelda gamer, are there any particular game storylines, whatever, that you think that they could use as a basis for the TV series? And I ask you that because part of the Wall Street Journal report was that they're now just looking for a writer. So that says that they're still just at a very early conceptual level of like, all right, well, how exactly do we do this? How do we do it as a weekly or as a live action show?
I feel like you've got to go with Ocarina of Time, which is pretty much, if you look at all the lists on the internet combined, Ocarina of Time is probably considered the greatest Zelda game of all time. I personally like Majora's Mask better, but that's not what we're talking about. So I think that's the one you go to. The plot of it is like the best of all the Zelda stories, and it is very Game of Thrones-esque in that Zelda is like the princess, and Ganondorf comes in and sort of takes over Hyrule. She goes on the run with Impa, and Link has to come and like save the day, which is really cool. It also lets you play. TV shows love their flashbacks. We're seeing with the Flash, with Lost, with Arrow. Ocarina of Time is a time travel story. So he starts a little boy, then he skips puberty and becomes like the hero we all know, Link, the hero of time. So I think that would be like a really cool edge, and it really just has all the cool stuff. There's great like twists and stuff. Like Zelda is actually Sheik and hiding, so that's always like gonna be like a fun like reveal for the people who maybe don't know Zelda and are just like checking it out. So I feel like that's the most like cinematic, that's the most fun, that's the most revered Zelda game of all time. So I feel like that's the way you got to go.
Okay, final thoughts then on this news of a live action Zelda series, possibly on Netflix.
I'm so happy.
Well, you heard it here first. For all things Zelda, oh my God, Zelda and Netflix, keep it here on IGN.
I'm happy, Jim.